in a galaxy far, far away.
Okay, so heads up, we did get a Sparrow scoop last night concerning a couple of things. First off, I want to talk about the Gina Carano thing real quick. Gina Carano at FanCon, I guess, in Philadelphia, said she would be very happy to come back for Star Wars. She has no grudges against Disney, which I'm sure makes geeks and gamers and Star Wars is dead Gary Beekler pissed off. Fine. Let's talk about the Sigourney Weaver scoop first. Sigourney Weaver in talks to join Star Wars movie The Mandalorian and Grogu. We thought she would play, if she was coming back, she'd play some sort of Jedi or maybe a Mandalorian. And it appears that she's taking a role that is a bit like Talon Card. That's what the role is, according to Sparrow, of an outlaw smuggler, whatever. I don't particularly like this idea. I think the novels did a really good job with the character as is, and I really don't think they need to switch sex for this. But hopefully, this will end up being really good, and we'll still get Talon Card as a guy. I imagine Robert Downey Jr. or somebody like that playing the role, just because I think they'd be great. But yeah, so the sci-fi queen from Aliens, Galaxy Quest, and Ghostbusters is in talks. This is the headline from Variety to join Star Wars. This isn't the only time that a big name has appeared, okay? There was an idea floating about of all people, Meryl Streep taking over the role of Leia in the Rise of Palpatine, and I think they floated it deliberately to the fan sites, and we all rejected it because there's only one Leia, and that's Carrie Fisher. So that didn't work, didn't help, didn't do anything. But this is true. Jon Favreau wants her for this, and let's put it this way. This outdoes the Carrie Ann Moss thing, who has not done any marketing, by the way, for The Acolyte. The only time I've seen The Acolyte mentioned is in an article about her joining Arnold Schwarzenegger in a Netflix series, and basically at the end of it said, oh, and by the way, Carrie Ann Moss is going to be seen in The Acolyte dropping on June 4th, blah, blah, blah. That's it. She's never said a word about it. Okay, the only person, again, talking about it is Harvey's former personal assistant. But this casting outweighs that. Carrie Ann Moss is not, in my opinion, a star. She's a big name, but she doesn't get butts into seats. Okay, Sigourney Weaver, she was in the Aliens movies. She was in Galaxy Quest. She's in Ghostbusters, The Year of Living Dangerously with Mel Gibson. Just a ton of big movies. She's a very strong actress for Star Wars, okay? And the fact that they're bringing her into Mandalorian and Grogu, in my opinion, says a lot. Hopefully they'll change the name of the movie because it's like, that doesn't inspire confidence. And we kind of know what the movie's kind of going to be about. It's about the galaxy, after Return of the Jedi. You're going to have the Imperial element. Probably Thrawn is already on the loose in the galaxy. We're going to see a lot more underworld stuff. And there is a scene with Han and Leia in it. And I think probably we're going to get maybe a little bit of the underworld through the eyes of a former smuggler and stuff like that. Maybe Lando will show up. I don't know. But this is where the repair of Star Wars begins. Okay, look, we've got Anakin Skywalker in the world between worlds. All right. Being both Vader and himself. All right, that's the father balanced the force. But let's talk about more. Because with every cast announcement, we get closer and closer with every added detail to the Mandoverse, which whenever Skeleton Crew drops, that's going to be added to it. Ahsoka's Mandoverse, Mandalorian is Mandoverse, Boba Fett is Mandoverse. Okay, really the only one streaming show that wasn't is Kenobi. And that's all attached to the Skywalker saga, the Skywalker storyline. And so the movie is going to probably tie up threads and add more to the TV streaming stuff that we can watch. So let's talk about some other things.
In keeping with the trusty adage, starve a cold, disgust a fever. Dad, when are you going to stop blighting the environment with this atrocity? My God, can't you see that it wants to die? Let it go. Stop. Not one more crooked word. Your tongue could open a wine bottle.
An agent. It's not like she worships the devil.
Well, she doesn't have to. He worships her.
That one just drew a pentagram on the floor and chanted, "I summon thee," 3 times.
Get out.
Here all night.
Get out!
So we've got this headline, but let me preface it with Gina saying that she would come back gladly to Star Wars and she harbors no ill will towards Disney. This is an official statement about Disney's lawyers' request to dismiss her case because of it violates their free speech, which I just, whatever and the people over there are smoking, I don't know. It's the same stupid argument they tried to use against Ron DeSantis in the state of Florida, and they settled that case out of court. All right? And I'm going to say this. I guarantee you Disney's lawyers and Disney's people are talking to her people. Okay? The fact of the matter is, Sparrow stated that Favreau has got and is working on scenes with Cara Dune in them, preparing for her return. Now, they've got other things going on where she's not in the movie at all, but he's also working on this as well. And this tells me that he's confident of her return back to Star Wars. Okay, which is this. Look, if anything that is going to shut up Nerdrotic, Star Wars is dead, pay me money. And the GRD special ed guys over at Geeks and Gamers, it's going to be the announcement in Variety or THR of Gina Carano and Disney have come to a settlement. She's coming back to Star Wars as Cara Dune. Or Carano returns as Cara Dune. And that will be the moment you see the black pills having to stop and think. All right. There's a lot of stuff going on which already contradicts their narrative that they will not admit to. The fact that Kenobi broke canon, no, it didn't. And I don't care who you are, you could be my best friend. If you think that, you never watched The New Hope, or you're illiterate, you don't understand it. Okay. And Favreau wants her back. Her meaning Gina Carano. And with the other things going on, the Willow bombshell from Caroline Reed and Forbes about the incompetence behind the budgetary issues. The fact that the Willow Barking Lion shell company is in the same office with Blue Stockings, which is the Acolyte shell company. Kennedy's got a lot to worry about. And Carano is seemingly more confident of getting something out, of getting what she wants from Disney. And if we hear that she's decided to come back, we will know for a fact Kennedy is gone. Now, I'm going to say this, don't underestimate Kathy's desire to fuck something up on the way out the door. Okay, not that she's even in the door anymore, but still, I could see it. But I honestly think that her minions are battening down the hatches, because I do feel like there's something going to be announced about her, the condition of her position at Lucasfilm, sooner rather than later. I would think sooner, like as Mandalorian movie gets spooled up and starts filming, principal photography. But I think there's going to be changes coming. But look, if you look at the Sigourney Weaver thing, that outweighs Carrie Ann Moss. If you look at Gina telling fans she doesn't hold any grudges against Disney, that kills Nerdrotic and Geeks and Gamers right there, by the way. And it also makes certain friends of hers look silly, okay? Because they've made a name of trashing the company, and that's their tagline, okay? And if Gina goes back, what do they have to say? All right. But she has said positive things about Disney to fans. Then her lawyers came out and she basically rejected Disney's asinine lawyerly bullshit about their rights being violated. Their First Amendment rights, what the fuck? You know, and really that to me is just a lame way of avoiding the inevitable. Okay, and I really don't think Iger wants to avoid the inevitable. I think he wants things to pick up and start moving in a positive direction. After all, he did hire Ralph Ineson to play the villain in Fantastic Four, did he not? Okay, so Ineson's still suing Disney. All right, but now he's working on Disney product. So this tells me that Iger knows what needs to be done. So do not be surprised if they settle out of court with Gina and she comes back to work. That's the only logical thing that'll happen. Okay, and we've got all of these articles from Forbes magazine attacking Kathleen Kennedy. From the Star Wars movies did not make enough money for Disney to break even in buying Lucasfilm, to Dial of Destiny cost $100 million more than they expected it to. And there were some other things going on there. And then, of course, this article about Willow, okay, which I think has implications as it's very strange that the shell companies shared the same office in England, okay? These are things that you got to look at and go, oh, okay. All right, there's a connection here. And other connections too, but I talked about them in my previous upload. But suffice it to say, it looks like we're going to get some positive news about Gina, okay? I think that Favreau wouldn't be moving in this direction if the lawyers said no way. Okay, and seeing how Ineson's been treated by Iger, don't be surprised to see Carano being treated this way by Iger. Okay, it's time for the SJW bullshit, faggy shit to be done and over with. Okay, time to spool up the creativity and business. Okay, this is Steph signing out. I'll see you around the galaxy.